Hello everyone and welcome to our video series Learn Persian for Beginners. In the last lesson, you learned about the relationship between the verb and singular pronouns. In this lesson, we will continue learning plural subject pronouns. You can visit our page on PersianCampus.com to get free podcasts, transcripts, and early access to our videos and more. So let's begin. درس دهم. یه بار دیگه درس دهم. ساخت جمله بخش سوم. ضمایر فاعلی جمع. In the previous lesson, we have learned the singular subject pronouns to talk about I, you in singular, and she or he. من, تو, او. Before we continue the list of pronouns, we should first understand what a pronoun is. Personal pronouns replace the nouns in a sentence. The pronouns make a sentence shorter and avoid the repetition of a noun in a sentence or in a text. The pronouns in Persian are not gender specific, so there is no difference either we are talking about a male or a female subject. There are a few other things we need to consider when we are using personal pronouns. You need to know what person you're talking about. When talking about myself, I will use first pronoun. When I'm talking to someone, that someone would be the second person. And when talking about someone, that someone will be third person. Another aspect to be considered is if the person is in the singular or in plural. Selecting a pronoun depends on these factors. Pronouns are not only used for persons, they are also used for things. Let's look at the first set of pronouns in first person. We have learned that in singular, we use man. Today, we learn that the first person plural is ما. Here are two examples. من در تهران زندگی می کنم. Here, I'm talking just about myself. ما در تهران زندگی می کنیم. Here, I'm talking about ourselves, also in first person, but plural. Let's look at more examples. Concentrate on the use of pronouns man and ما, and at the same time, pay attention to the verb endings. Here, Nargis is talking about herself. من نرگس هستم. من اهل ایران هستم. من یک بچه دارم. ما در تهران زندگی می کنیم. Nargis is talking about herself. So, she uses first person singular pronoun, which is man. As soon as she talks about herself and her child, she uses first person plural pronoun, which is ma. The suitable ending that refers to man and sits on the verb to conjugate it is am, and for ma is im, mikonim. Now let's look at the personal pronouns in the second person, the situation in which you are talking to another person. This can be either formal or informal. In the last lesson, you have learned the pronoun for second person singular, which is also informal, and that is to. This is used in friendly or informal context. We use shoma for a situation in which we are talking formally with one person or we are talking to more than one person. Here is an example. کامران تو کجا زندگی می کنی؟ یه بار دیگه کامران تو کجا زندگی می کنی؟ And next one. بهار و سعید شما کجا زندگی می کنید؟ یه بار دیگه بهار و سعید شما کجا زندگی می کنید؟ Kamran is a singular person, so we use to. Bahar wa Saeed are two people, so we use the plural pronoun shoma. Remember, since the situation is informal, you will address these people with their first names. We can use last names or the professions to address the person in formal situation. Here are examples. استاد، شما کجا زندگی می کنید؟ یه بار دیگه. استاد، شما کجا زندگی می کنید؟ or آقای مهندس، شما اهل کجا هستید؟ یه بار دیگه. آقای مهندس، شما اهل کجا هستید؟ Now, what are the endings? For to, it is e, and for شما, it is id or in. Look at these examples. تو کجا هستی؟ کجا زندگی می کنی؟ بچه داری؟ Compare it with شما کجا هستید؟ کجا زندگی می کنید؟ بچه دارید؟ Or we can make it one step informal and say شما کجا هستین؟ کجا زندگی می کنین؟ بچه دارین؟ Now let's move on to the pronouns of third person. For a singular pronoun, you have learned u, which is not gender specific and can be used informally as un. There is another pronoun that we use formally to talk about a third person singular, and that is ishan. And you can change it to ishun to make it one step informal. The note is that originally ishan was a third person plural pronoun, but today it is not used as a plural pronoun in spoken Persian. However, when we conjugate the verb, the ending can be either in plural or singular. The plural pronouns of third person is anha, that in spoken we change it to una. Let's see some examples. او ایرانی است. او اهل تهران است. او در تهران زندگی می کند. We use او or un to refer to our friend when we are talking about him or her. Now, if we want to be a little polite, we can say ایشون ایرانی هستند. ایشون اهل تهران هستند. ایشون در تهران زندگی می کنند. However, it is possible to use ایشون with singular verb. ایشون ایرانیه. ایشون اهل تهرانه. ایشون در تهران زندگی میکنه. So the endings for u or un is ad, which in spoken form we say e. For una or anha is and, which we drop de and we can say an. زندگی میکنن، هستن. Look at these examples again. اون تهران زندگی میکند. اون تهران زندگی میکنه. ایشون or آنها or اونا تهران زندگی میکنند. ایشون or آنها or اونا تهران زندگی میکنن. If you are confused when to use which pronoun, you can watch our videos on this topic on Persian Campus. The link can be found below in the description. Now let's summarize the personal pronouns. Remember, pronouns can be either in first person, second person, or third person. They can be either singular or plural. In the first singular, we use man. That means when we are talking about ourselves. Whereas in plural, we use ma. That means when you talk about you and your family or you and your friends or colleagues. In the second person, it can either be formal or informal. In informal singular, we use to, whereas in formal or plural, we use شما. If you're talking to Nargis, use to. If you're talking to Nargis and Gandom, or you're talking to خانوم مفیدی, use شما. In the third person singular, you use او or اون. Formally, you can use ایشان or ایشون. To talk about other people in plural form, you use آنها or اونا. When you are talking about more than one person or things indirectly, for example, when you are talking about Mujgan and Saeed, then you would use آنها or اونا. So these were the personal pronouns. A good news about Persian is that there is no case in this language. So once you learn the subject pronouns, you can use them for object and also as possessive pronouns. Hope you enjoyed learning them. Just try to form simple sentences like we did to practice them. This is also a good time to learn about family in Persian. You can watch our video on this topic. The link can be found below in the description. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you still haven't. You can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we upload a new video. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. ممنونم. خداحافظ.